Hi ladies, welcome back to my channel. So this is gonna be a quick one. I realize it's been like a month since I made my last video. Time flies, angels. But I do want to start keeping up and being consistent. I want my consistency to be consistent. I make this video about social anxiety. As you know, the whole of my channel is about promoting mental health. If that has not been made obvious by now, I want to make it clear from this moment. The whole of my channel is about promoting mental health, specifically within ethnic communities that have not been very upfront about mental health. I'm talking about communities of chocolate colored people, cream colored people, and the likes. And something I want to just put out there is that if you're watching my channel and you are a fake conservative person, a fake conservative person is someone who is not really practicing true Christianity, but just want to use that word as a brandish to be mean to people and to sideline people, then please just leave my channel. Because here we practice love, we practice positivity, and things that are good for mental health. Really, my spirituality is a part of my life. And then you see it in how we interact with people, how we interact with people who are less privileged, because that's very clear in the Bible that that's a form of worship that God really loves. When someone is, kind to like people who don't have, who maybe orphans or people who are not privileged, people who may have mental health disorders. That's why my channel is about promoting that safe space. So when I speak to mental health, sometimes I'm not talking about just like the absence or the presence of the disease. I'm talking about mental health in general. So you might not have a mental health condition today, but who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? I mean, we live in a world that constantly, as Taylor Swift said, the world we live in is literally abusive to us, So that's the point of this channel. So I wanted to just be clear about that. So speaking about African exoticas and exotic looking people and attractive people, and how there's all kinds of situations that come across and that come into life when someone looks a certain way, and we'll explore them one by one. So when someone looks a certain way in a certain community, so in this particular instance, I'm talking about social anxiety on an attractive person or on an exotica. So like when people imagine social anxiety, most times people think of a nerd. People think of a geek, someone with like glasses on and just like shivering, unable to have a conversation, unable to walk up to someone and have a chat and all of that. But that's not really what social anxiety looks like, especially in people who are like attractive or have a certain phenotype. When people experience you experiencing social anxiety, most times they chalk it up to you being snobbish, rude, entitled, being a bitch, or just being ill-mannered. People don't know that social anxiety does not necessarily equate to the person looking like some type of like a geek who doesn't fit in. That's not always the case with social anxiety. There are plenty of people who have social anxiety who look like me, who look well dressed. Okay, today I don't have my nails on, but y'all know me that most times I'm on like fleek like that. But I can tell you there were plenty of times when I'm about to walk into a room and the room is filled with a lot of people, especially if there are people who I don't know from anywhere, and I would just balk. Like, I don't even think about it. It just comes over me. It's a spirit. And I just don't want to go into the room. I just shut down mentally. Like, I literally just shut down. And those who watch my channel already know that I have ADHD. So that in itself is is something else to unpack. Because we're going to that another time. So most times I see people do the same thing. So some of my friends, some of my contacts who are quote unquote exoticals, and people just assume that, oh my gosh, she doesn't want to talk to people. Who does she think she is? Blah 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 blah, because this lady or man looks a certain way. But really what's happening is that person is struggling internally, and battling anxiety and trying to think, okay, I don't want to go in, and having like a panic attack. And then we think, oh my God, judgment, they're gonna judge me, people are gonna judge me, they're gonna label me. It's just a bunch of thoughts just rushing through your brain. It's called flooding. And then you have the shutdown where you can't even regulate, you can't even process the emotion. You just shut down. And for me, when I'm in a group setting like that and I want to go into, like, for example, a restaurant, and there's a lot of people and I can hear a lot of sounds and a lot of things clanging, and I'm just like, oh, it's too much. I literally would like start breathing like that, and I would just find a place to sit down and walk away and just calm down somewhere. Thankfully, I work in the mental health space, so most people who I work around either have ADHD, autism, or somewhere on the neurodivergency scale, and so they understand to just like let me breathe it out before I come in. The second way in which exoticals are misunderstood when they are facing social anxiety is that people have a picture that people with social anxiety will not be able to like hold conversations or have like a public speaking engagement like I'm talking to you guys right now. That could not be further from the truth. I can walk into a room after I've done my grounding exercises and give a presentation. It's part of my job to constantly go to conferences and give presentations and do note taking and facilitate workshops and stuff. And I love it. I love those parts of my job because I love people, right? I love to connect with people. However, social anxiety does not mean that you are not able to give a presentation. But the thing that social anxiety shows up in most of the time is small talk. So people with social anxiety dread small talk the most because that's the most it's uncharted territory. It's territory that comes with judgment, and also it's territory that is unpredictable. So if I have to give a talk, I know I just prepare the speech. I prepare what I want to say. Okay, this is my analysis. I go there, turn on the slides, and then I'm like, okay, who asks questions? And when you're asking me questions, is my expertise. I know what to say. And when I don't know what to say, I'll just tell you, well, that's a very good question you asked. We haven't looked at it from that angle yet, but I'll definitely make a note and work on that moving forward to see how that can influence or add more robustness to our analysis, right? So definitely that's a way I can negotiate that. However, people with social anxiety, especially exoticals, that people assume are rude, are assumed to be rude because we don't like small talk. Like, we don't like small talk because we are over processing and over analyzing things. It's not that we don't like you, it's that when you say something, it takes us like maybe 2 minutes to process what you mean, what you really mean, what you're trying to tell us. And so small talks is a place where our brains just get overstimulated and we need to give out too much feedback too quickly. And we're all like deep thinkers, we're reflective people. We want to think very well before we say what we want to say. We want to make sure that what we're saying doesn't hurt you. So a lot of it also goes with people pleasing, actually. And it takes a lot of therapy and self regulation and just self-knowledge to recover that part of the self that's constantly trying to make other people feel okay. But beyond people pleasing, we're also very much deep introspective people, even though we may not look like it. So that's where the looks come into place, because people think, oh, but she doesn't have glasses on, she doesn't look like a nerd. I'm a nerd to the death of me. Like, if you didn't know that now, you will find me in the library or you will find me in a museum before you find me in a party. Like, I will go to a party if I'm invited, do my thing and leave, but I don't look like a nerd. So this is why this is why I always talk about like being willing to look beyond the surface. It's so important, especially if you call yourself some type of Christian. You have to really learn to look below the surface when you're interacting with people, because not everybody looks like this. Like, my brother did mathematics as a degree, and if you see my brother, you would think my brother is like some kind of party boy. My brother is also a nerd. But like, imagine studying like maths. When he was in his degree, he had to do like one question. Sometimes we take him like 1 week to solve. So it's not our fault that we look the way we look. It's literally not our fault. And I can't count how many times I go for a conference and people don't even take me seriously because they think, oh, she's like, okay, an attractive empty head. And so they don't take me seriously until I finish. And I'm like, well, the joke's on you, because then that means you're underestimating me, and you know what I say about underestimating people. So this is just some things I wanted to drag out. Like, if you have an exotic looking friend or a very attractive person who you think is being rude or being a biatch and stuff, maybe stop to have a conversation with them. It might not be what you think. It could just be that they have social anxiety and they're actually struggling and they need help. Especially someone like me, I struggle to like express vulnerability. Like, I'd rather you think that I'm fine than tell you that I'm not okay. But I'm learning these days to actually say, you know what, I'm having some anxiety and I have to go for this group meeting. Can you please come with me and just hold my hand through it? Like, just be with me and be my safe space while I negotiate this whole new crowd of people that I have to see. And so little by little, like that, I've started to like chip away at my walls and let myself be more vulnerable. But just take home this thing, because people must take home something after they watch my videos, is that just the fact that someone looks a certain way, like an exotic or something like that, doesn't mean that they are being like bitchy or whatnot. They could have social anxiety, and social anxiety does not mean that a person cannot do public speaking or that a person cannot work in group. It just means that people who they don't know, or random people who they have to like engage with in groups, is more stressful. We can talk to people one-on-one. When I see a stranger by the train station, I'm always like making random friends in town with random people who come from all over the world. But that's because I feel like there's no judgment there. There's no pressure. I think that's the most defining word. There's no pressure. So guys, I will see you guys in the next video, where I will be talking about something also interesting. Remember to like, subscribe, and share, because you never know who needs this, right? Namaste.